Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess a couple of you out there who's living by the ZZ Top code of dressing like a sharp-dressed man for tonight's Indy Awards, welcome back to the 7th annual 2021 Indy Awards. And speaking of sharply dressed folks, I forgot to mention I'm wearing a top hat that has an LED board on it thanks to Vinny and Barney's tailor shop that's right next to where the Bada Bing used to be in Nutley, New Jersey. Make sure you go over there while supplies last and mention DJ Smokey's name on the air and you'll be able to get your first tailored suit for 50% off. And if you're wondering, that was a commercial ad they told me to do, or else they'll do things to me. I don't know what things mean with quotations, but I don't want them to happen. And besides those quotations that nobody could possibly see, and speaking of interesting situations, folks, it's now time for us to go into our next award for the night, which is none other than the most interesting person of 2020. And this one has to be probably one of the most interesting awards we've had in the past 7 years we've been doing the Indy Awards. Seeing the fact that this interesting person will be representing a time that happened during a pandemic. It's something that hasn't happened in well over 100 years. And the fact that I'm tripping on my words to try to properly describe it without saying they're representing probably one of the worst years in recorded history, yeah, it's a thing. It really is. Dan the Weatherman Stu, please save me by reading the nominees for this year's edition of the most interesting person of 2020. And here are your nominees for this year's most interesting person of 2020. The Domino King. Yeah, Dan the Weatherman Stu, the Domino King, a man who's made artwork out of millions upon millions of dominoes, including not only Super Mario, even characters from Naruto, and even from Full Metal Alchemist and other cool animes that's been mentioned throughout this entire year. And as a matter of fact, as of last week, Attack on Titan. Ooh. Ah. OHP! Drums and guitars! Yeah, Dan the Weatherman Stu, a natural metalhead to the core, turning songs of rock, pop, and anything you could possibly imagine into pure heavy metal, reminding me of one of those Purell filters that could turn, the dirtiest of water into clean, crystal clear water. Except in his case, he's turning any song he gets his hands onto into metal, which is cool, including the Cyndi Lauper song he did a cover of this past year too. Frog Leap Studios! Haha! The coolest beard I have ever seen! Yeah, you're right. Next to the band of Anthrax with that guy with that big cool beard, Frog Leap Studios gets second place for a cool beard, but first place for an awesome cover every single week of any metal song that was originally rock, pop, or even jazz at one point he was able to turn into heavy metal. Which, once again, like we mentioned for OHP, definitely something cool to see what he's got up his sleeve next with whatever metal song he can get his hands on, or a song that's not metal, that he can turn metal, almost like what Ultron could do to people. Yeah, the best description or, definition we could give for it. Up, down, down! Or left, right, or BRE stars! Yeah, it's been one crazy year for Up, Up, Down, Down, folks. Not only with the fact that they would start the party, which would involve Uno, shenanigans, and other cool things, but also seeing left, right taking over Up, Up, Down, Down to the point that they would have to get BRE start to try to help them get back the channel and the championship that Tyler Breeze decided to turn into a pink and black nightmare in Austin Creed's dreams. Yeah, the best description of the year for Austin Creed outside of all the cool content and other things that he did to keep people distracted of what's been going on in the world, which, like we mentioned before, is a pandemic, amongst other things. Karrion Kross! Wait a minute, isn't that Killer Kross? Yeah, Dan the Weatherman Stu, it is Killer Kross under a different name, but still the mission remains the same, to be the Herald of Doomsday, the universal arbitrator of suffering, and most importantly a man on a mission to try to destroy anything in his path for gold, and would do so in less than 2 months by capturing the NXT Championship by Doomsday Saitoing Keith Lee right onto the Raw roster, and unfortunately would suffer an injury only to come back to hurt more people and make them regret that he was out longer. And not to mention still on the path to collect what was his. Just letting people know out there. Animal Talking with Gary Whitta! A video game talk show in a video game! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, probably one of the most unique things to come out of this pandemic involving Animal Crossing, with Gary Whitta actually turning Animal Crossing into a show with not only live performances, interviews, and even looks into the islands that they've created, which actually involved at one point Danny Trejo. I kid you not, Machete was featured on this show fishing. I never thought I would say that on this show. New Legacy Inc. Silly Wrestlers Extraordinaire. Well, besides being that, they are also some of the most funny, creative, and often unorthodox people that I know in the wrestling community. And not to mention, will test the wrestling game to its limits until it breaks. Yeah, and if you want any proof of that, watch any of their videos on the past 2K games involving WWE, or even any of the games involving any wrestling game they played over the past 12 plus years. Best way I can describe them. And what do you mean, Maestro, that you bet $5 they're gonna win the next award for the night? Cut that out. Adrian Cade! Haha! Guitarist to the core! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a bonus nominee that we decided to add to the list. These girls are young women who decided to play not only Rock Band but Guitar Hero, and would actually learn how to play the guitar from it, to the point that they would actually be gifted some pretty cool guitars so they can truly hone their craft. And with the fact of how young they are, yeah, they got plenty of great years ahead of them playing guitar, and after the pandemic's over, hopefully we can see them on stage performing something pretty cool, because I forgot to mention, they make their own music too. And with all those nominees we could possibly read for this year's Most Interesting Person of 2020 award, Dan the Weatherman Stu, if you will, please read the winner of this Most Interesting Award for this year. And the winner for this year's Most Interesting Person of insert year here is, drum roll please. Oh no! DJ Smokey, I think we should just skip this award altogether. What do you mean? Oh, let me see who won. Give me the sheet. Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. We should skip this award. What do you mean? What do I mean, Maestro? Do you see this red X in here? Do you know who draws X's and leaves it on people's, corpses afterwards? As a matter of fact, one of the PR department members are missing. What happened, guys? Oh, they said TikTok. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's award is none other than Karrion Kross, and we'll leave it at that. Every year with this guy. But I'm not gonna dispute it. I'm not. There's a lot of people on this award sheet who deserved it, but Karrion Kross, congratulations. Everybody pays the toll and whatever else you say. And I guess better luck next year to everybody else. So with that said, and with my phone number I have to change yet again this year because Kross won this award 3 years running, I think it's time for us to head back into the music, continue to listen into these Diamonds in the Rough, and when we return, we'll be back with the final award of the night, known as the New Legacy Difference Maker Award, right after a word from our sponsors. So don't go anywhere or run in terror from Kross just yet, folks, and stay tuned.